This is another episode of Fishnet Straight Talk, and we're at the beautiful Mount Hermon Conference Center near Scotts Valley, California. And my guest today is James Jurado, and he lives here. We played in a couple worship bands together, and James is our electric guitar player. And when I grow up, I want to learn to play guitar like James does. And so he has a nonprofit called Crossover Soundwaves, and today we want to find out more about that and get information and tell us a little bit about the background and how you got into that.
Okay, well, Crossover Soundwaves is an organization where we support the development of independent art music, and we use the music to raise awareness and funds to help people that are facing a housing-related crisis. So Santa Cruz County, I think there's the biggest gap between the average wage and the average cost of housing in this county, and I think it's like number 1 or 2 in the country.
Yeah, I've heard it's number 1.
So anyways, that's basically what we do. We're a 501c3 charitable nonprofit. How it started, I've always written music, played music. I started a group called Crossover Network down in Southern California. That's where we're originally from. And so it's a support group just to help people finish their songs, and then we'd support each other in the community as people would perform their original music. And that kind of developed into to an organization in around 1999. We started an organization, some folks from my church and myself, called Java Musicians Alliance. That developed into javamusic.com. Unfortunately, at the time, that was like the .com era. And, rubberdogcrap.com could go public at that point in time. It was
Boom
just,
and bust.
Yeah, it's just like, so that became like the impetus and the main point of the organization, which was like not my vision. And I just lost control of the organization, and so I sold my shares back, and then we ended up moving up here to Santa Cruz County. And so, but that idea of like combining music, good independent music, with raising money and awareness to meet a need in the community kind of stuck with me. And so it's kind of a combination of just my background. So professionally, I've been a social worker since like 1986. I've been in the mental health field for eons. And so, from 1995 on, it's been with charitable nonprofit organizations. So well aware of people at or around the poverty level that maybe have Medi-Cal, and just some of the needs that they have, and just some of the frustrations that people that work in that field have in terms of finding resources to meet the needs of their clients. So incorporated in 2006, state of California, and filed for the IRS tax exempt status, and that took a couple years. But so the organization has gone through different seasons. And we used to have a website called songjury.com, and that's now defunct. But the idea about supporting the development of independent music to raise money and awareness for housing needs, people facing a housing-related crisis, has remained the same. So what we do and how we make the difference is that we do micro grants of up to $500 per family or per individual. The people that access these funds, they basically are people that work in nonprofit organizations like Encompass is one that's local here in Santa Cruz County. We had a referral from Santa Cruz County Behavioral Health, but they'll have people that they're working with that are facing a housing-related crisis. They can make a request for a grant from us, and then if we have the money available, then we can really help with that need. We also work with churches. The churches that have the same kind of thing that comes up from one of their church members, we can do the same thing as well.
So you're sort of established with agencies and churches that are already helping.
Yeah, over the decade and a half that we've been around, that we've developed an awareness with at least the organizations here in Santa Cruz County. So, but it's purely based on donations. We don't have any kind of grants or contract that come through HUD or whatever. We are just strictly based on donations at this point.
Do you have a budget, or how much money would you like to raise?
Well, I'm quite the visionary. Sky's the limit. I mean, if one of the things that's been sort of a dream that I would like to do under the covering of Crossover Soundwaves is to develop a venue where artists can showcase their music, kind of like almost like an event center coffee house sort of a thing. And so that would require, this is Santa Cruz County, require a lot of money, but I think it would be a worthwhile venture. And that would be kind of like home base for crossover sound waves if we were ever to get the funding in order to develop this cafe idea.
Do you think churches or Christian organizations should be more involved with helping people in need or homeless?
Yeah, I think, it's like, you read the book of James, you look at what Jesus did, you look at Paul and his ministry and the famine that happened in the first century and everybody rallying around just to take care of each other.
The Bible.
Yeah, there's some things in scriptures that seem to indicate that. And that's God's heart. I mean, we're all poor in spirit, and God reaches out to us, and I think it's really the heart of the Father to minister to those that really are in need and going through a crisis. So this would be, an opportunity, an organization that's really kind of about doing that kind of thing.
And Luke 10 comes to my mind where the Good Samaritan helped someone that was robbed and beaten up by thieves. And the point is that we're supposed to help our neighbors, but our neighbor might not be the person next to us. It might be someone who's in need. It doesn't have to live right close to us.
Exactly, and a lot of the folks that we help, we don't know. It's somebody that's they're working with this case manager, and but it's a legit need, and they're really scouring the county, looking for resources, and so we've been able to meet the need in those sorts of situations. But also, it's all working smarter kind of a thing too. I used to be part of the Homeless Action Planning Committee here in Santa Cruz County, and one of the stats I found just amazing is that sometimes it takes as little as $5,000 to keep a family from becoming homeless. But if they become homeless, go to a shelter, and to get them rehoused, the cost goes up to $50,000.
Yeah.
So there's ways to actually, intervene early, and it's more efficient, more cost effective, and it really helps people stay put. And you avoid all the different crises of being evicted and and then going into a shelter, then finding another place. So our goal really is more about that preventative sort of a thing.
So tell us, how can people support you and find out more information about what you're doing in your organization?
Well, you can go to www.crossoversoundwaves.com. There's a PayPal donation button there on the website. If you want to make a tax-deductible donation, you can do that. You can also sign up for a newsletter. So that's the sign-up button is also on our website. And then a lot of the needs that we have and things that we've actually done are contained in our monthly newsletter. So if you sign up for our newsletter, I try to post that on Facebook as well so that people can read it on Facebook. But that's probably the best way to get in touch with us. Is all the contact information for me is on our website.
That's crossoversoundwaves.com.
Yes, crossoversoundwaves.com.
And same title in Facebook, right?
Yeah, we also have a page in Facebook.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Sure.
Well, I don't think one church or one organization can solve all the problems, but if all Christian organizations or churches did something or did their part, I think it could make a large impact on the problem that's facing our country right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think of Wilberforce, think of the Salvation Army, people that really have felt led by God to make a difference that has had sweeping effects on entire nations and on the world. And so, I firmly believe that God will give us, the church, downloads and wisdom and vision to do things that would make a tremendous difference, and that the world will look on and see that it really emanates from the heart of God through His church.
And they'll know we're Christians by our love.
Exactly.
That's the scripture, and so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I appreciate what your organization is doing. Have you written songs yourself?
Yes, I have. I've written a lot of songs that I've never done anything with, but I've got some that are on the Crossover Soundwaves websites, crossoversoundwaves.com. And so, and with our songwriter group, there's songs that we put on our website that have really been developed out of our songwriter night, which is I think the third Monday of the month at 6:30 we get together. So I have some songs that are on our website. We're also a digital. We do digital distribution with the people that we publish. So one of our board members has just recently released one of his songs, and we're going to put it up for distribution. It's called "Escape to Eden." And it's Steve Orpeza, one of our board members, that actually composed the song. So yeah, I write songs. I think everybody that's on the board is a songwriter. So it's good company.
Well, thanks for taking the time today to share with us your heart and your organization.
Absolutely.
So Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
God bless.